Hey everyone! So I seen that the video I made, which is the Russian company stealing Plants vs Zombies character for a vitamin D3 jar thing for the design. I've noticed that it got a decent amount of views, which I'm glad though, because I want to have more info or something like this to have some attention to it here. Which I know that maybe it shouldn't be have that much attention here, but I feel like it's something I like to mention when it comes to companies taking something, which I don't think it's intentional or not though, but even if it's intentional or not though, it still should be talked about even nonetheless though. But nonetheless, I am happy about the amount of views I got here, and I'm really thankful you guys here. But with that all said here, what's this video going to be about anyway? Well, the video the video in question here is a little update about this vitamin D3 jar. A little somewhat of a part 2 about this thing. Before we get into that though, there are a few errors which I made here, which I do apologize for that. I should have noticed right before I made this video, but you gotta understand, accidents like that happen here. You gotta give credit where credit is due. So, nonetheless though, I'm so sorry about that, but the very least I could do is to correct them in this video. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So the mistake number 1, I mentioned how it's supposed to be, somewhat of a medicine of a vitamin D3 for children and adults. Well, in the official websites here with the characteristics here, if you read the bottom here in the instructions of dairy semblance, bad, not a medicine. Though that could be kind of not in a right category for something like that here, but part of me thinks that, maybe there's not somewhat truth about here, but I figured I'd put that there because, maybe in case, I'm actually wrong about this. I did mention that this brand of bottle came from a company named Uvix Impregnation. Yeah, well, that info was so false. You see, the company I was trying to say earlier, which I really don't know why it didn't hit to me, but the company what I was actually trying to say was this company. And with translation, it reads, Why Uvix Farm. The reason why I shouldn't have that mistake to begin with, because if you look at the bottle, you see that the company alone here has the logo literally right there at the bottle, and yet I still missed it, and saying that this innocent company has anything to do with this silver knockoff. And get this, the company that I got wrong was just some sort of house company or something like that, a community for like houses for whatever.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nonetheless, though, it is still a very bad mistake to say that this took this without any sorts of kinds of proof for that. And the fact that I did not even bother to check this stinking logo on it. Sorry. Sorry, random company. And sorry to the viewers, too, for making you think that this company took this sulfur bottle knockoff. Alright, now that I covered that, let's get more into this video. There's actually a Facebook page about this bottle, along with Instagram. Well, I only found one screenshot of this bottle being shown, and with a bit of translation alone here, but nothing really too crazy I seem. However, the Facebook page though gets interesting. And right here, what you're seeing right now is their company's Facebook, Uvix Farm. And scrolling right here, you can see that here they're been advertising more of their vitamin D3 products and stuff. Like this one here is the sunflower one. That one is I think it's supposed to be caring for like a men's health, something like that. Yeah, this is for men. Another one's a little blurred up. Some of these images are not blurred out for me. The ones are advertising brand. Yep, there's another one. 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 And yep, another one. Yep, you can probably tell here what's going on here. They're mainly, just advertising, these bottles. One more here, and nothing's a little too out of the ordinary here. And however, until you realize that there's something else that I haven't mentioned. I've scrolled here through all the pictures and looked through all their posts about their products and bottles, I have not seen one post of them advertising the Solar Flare knockoff bottle. As if they're trying to hide it. Or they didn't want to, to find out something like that. Maybe they're doing this because they don't want anyone to find out they have taken this character and used them as their own company to gain their own success. Or maybe they just haven't thought about posting it on Facebook, I don't know. But still, isn't it kind of weird to me how most of these bottles are just here and then there's not a single one of this one found anywhere? And trust me, I've looked. I looked at this bottle here, right here, which they seem to advertise with that sulfur one here, and even with that, I have not seen it once. The strange thing with this one here is that it shows the one with the kid, and it has the adult version of it, but wouldn't it make more sense to show the kid's version of the one, which is the sulfur knockoff one? Because that one is technically a kid's one, but yet they chose this one, as if they either want to show this one in purpose here for children too, or they just wanted to keep it hidden away from it here. But however, I also heard that this version is also okay for kids in Russia, but I have no clue. By now you're probably asking, Doodle, what about footage of this? I did find several photos of the bottle in different positions and angles and different looks, and a variety of photos just shows that this thing does exist. But has there been any footage that I found for this bottle existing? And I looked through many reviews, and as much as I hate to say it to some of y'all, I couldn't find footage of this bottle. I looked through Russian reviews of this bottle, I found nothing. I even looked through the company's site for the reviews of it, I haven't found a footage. I'm sorry to y'all, but I couldn't find at least a 5 seconds one at least of this bottle in particular. However, I did found this. It's a box that comes with the sulfur bottle one here, but however, you can see the knockoff sulfur right here in clean picture without the rounded up. So yeah, this is a more clear picture with the knockoff sulfur, or as some of you want to call it, the shirtless flare. And it doesn't have that kind of draw rounded up kind of thing, if you know what I mean. But in other words, this image is clear and it's actually really easy to see now. But even with that though, despite amount of efforts I try to find looking for footage, even like I said, just 5 seconds of it, I couldn't find any footage of this particular one at all. I have found footage of other vitamin products here, which I'm playing right now, but it's not the one I'm mainly looking for. I am though currently on a hunt to search footage of this, but despite my best efforts of looking, I have not found it with any success, so I don't think I ever can probably find footage of this unless someone from Russia can show any kind of video of this, and then maybe the coast will be closed, but for now I didn't find anything. You might be asking, I could just search up on YouTube, but that's the problem with that though. Knowing that it came from Russia here and knowing that this thing is not that particularly, that known, and that it'll just give me different results of different products and not the one I'm looking for here, and I just don't think that it will be that easy to find, knowing that how very known it is and how results you can get on YouTube. So I don't think finding on YouTube will be a quick option knowing this. So however, if someone does manage to find it, please let me know. And with that, that's gonna be a wrap for the sulfur knockoff jar update video on the company itself. I would like to share that much more info about this company one out here. I do know at some point here it probably might be going out of business here and like losing this copyright of one another here or something like that. But other than that though, I don't know what any further updates I could give to this company to one another here. I could maybe find to the location of the company here, but for one, I don't want to put any location to any media here, and two, the location is kind of hard to find anyway, so But anything else though, I'm hoping to find at least one footage of the jar here, like I did find others here, but I don't think I can find that here unless someone from Russia can show it here, and maybe the case will be closed, but I got nothing else to like to mention here. So if you guys have any more updates that I should share about this company or jar or whatever, please let me know. But other than that though, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.